can you tell us the benefits of running? Why should I do this?
Aerobic exercise is good for us, and it has all of these different benefits on all different organ systems. So it's good for our heart and our cardiovascular system.
Right.
It lowers our blood pressure. It lowers our resting heart rate. It decreases our risk of heart attacks and stroke. It helps our brain. It helps our neurological system. Runners have less Alzheimer's, dementia, all of those brain disorders that happen in older age. We know that and we read that in the textbook, but it's a harder sell.
Hi, this is the Care Room with Dr. Cindy. Welcome. It's a space that was created just for you. I'm your host, Dr. Cindy, and this is a chance to get up close and personal with me. We're going to talk about the things in medicine that matter to you. We'll talk about the questions you've been carrying. We're going to have some honest conversations. We're going to hold space for joy, struggles, and everything in between. It's care that goes beyond the exam room. Care you're going to take home with you, whether you're listening while you're driving or you're listening while you're exercising. I promise that it's going to be care that's rooted in truth and a deep commitment to walking with you every step of the way. I'm glad you're here.
Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Care Room with Dr. Cindy. I know I say this every single episode, but I have another amazing guest with us today. It's Dr. Michelle Quirk. She's joining us from Philadelphia. She is a pediatrician and she is gracing us with her time and her wisdom today. And I think you guys are going to like this once you hear her specialty and what she does. But first, let her introduce herself.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Dr. Cindy. It's my pleasure to be here. I'm very excited. I am a pediatrician here in Philadelphia, and I am also a running coach and the founder of Mindful Marathon, where I help make running easy and fun for busy professionals, and especially women physicians. So we're going to be talking about running and movement, but if you're not a runner, stick around. We have a lot to say.
And you're talking to the queen of not being a runner right here.
I don't believe it.
So Michelle, can you tell us how you got started in running and, how that interest developed?
Yeah. I think the most interesting thing to say is that I was not always a runner. I was not a kid who was like an athlete or a track star or anything like that. No. It used to be the one huffing and puffing when they made us do the mile run. And I just always thought for years and years that I couldn't do it, that I had different genetic makeup than the runners, that the kids who seemed to be doing so well in cross country and track, and I just didn't have that gene, whatever that was. And I think, for a long time, it just held me back from the sport. Like I really wanted to do it. And I saw people having so much fun running, especially as I got into, college and medical school. And I just, I tried it so many times and it was always a fail. So
I hear you.
Yeah. And then after, I really had this moment after I finished my residency and I started my new job, was newly married, like moved to a new place, had a lot of different stressors going on.
Sure.
And I had this moment where I was talking to a patient and his family all about healthy habits and exercise and good nutrition and all these things. And I just thought, I'm not really doing any of these things. And I feel very hypocritical that I'm not taking care of myself. And I'm talking to this family about this. And I decided in this moment something was going to change. And I came home from that shift and I dusted out my running sneakers in the back of the closet. And I decided I was going to go around the block and just go 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, go really slow, see how that worked and work up from there. And that is how I started running in 2012.
I want to be like you. I want to just wake up one day and say I'm going to run because I know I need to do it. So Michelle, I see all your videos. I see all your posts. You do a lot. You do a lot of races. Can you explain to us the different types of races? I know there's like a half marathon, full marathon, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. And I think also I want to say too that, you can be a runner and never run a race. I'll put that out there. Okay.
We'll take it. Pressure off.
Yes, pressure off. I will say races are a very fun experience, and I can tell you the reasons why I love them and why my athletes love them. But yes, but let's go with the basics. So there are all different distances that you can run. You know, if you are a student who went through track and cross country, you may be more well versed in the shorter distance races. And there are such things as like a 1 mile race. A 5K is 3.1 miles. And I
Okay.
feel like a 5K is a good entry point for a lot of people because most of us could walk that. Like I really believe most of us could walk that tomorrow if I made you. I think that it's like a lower barrier to entry to think like, okay, 3.1 miles, most people can finish that even if you're, walking a 20-minute mile,
Sure.
right? You can finish that within an hour for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And so with a little bit of jogging, we can speed it up a little, but most people can do a 5K.
Sure.
And then after that, like I coach a lot of longer distance runners. So people who want to run longer distances, a 10K is 6.2 miles. There are 10-mile races. There are 15-mile races. A half marathon is 13.1 miles. And then a full marathon, I'm making everybody sweat, is 26.2 miles. That's a long way. It's a long way to drive. It's a long way to run.
I'm sure. I'm sure. And you mentioned that you have some athletes. So do you do like coaching for teams or how does that work?
Yeah, yeah. I mostly coach athletes one on one. I have had a couple of different group programs based on like a certain distance that people wanted to run. And there were enough people to say, hey, I would like to run a half marathon, this spring. So we assembled a group. But I mostly coach my athletes one on one. And what I do is I coach a lot of busy professionals. And so the biggest barrier often is time and figuring out like, hey, I really have this goal, but I don't know how I'm going to fit in the training to get to that goal. And so we really work with the schedule and someone's, family obligations, work obligations, all of these things that we're doing and work together to come up with a training plan that fits your life. I like to say, like, I don't want running to be feeling like a part time job. Like, if we're doing that, I'm not doing a great job. So
Yeah.
we want the running to be fun and stress relief and all of those things. And I primarily write these custom training plans, and then people have a certain goal that they're working toward. That could be a distance, it could be a speed, it could be, oh, I just want to be more consistent and I want to run 3 times a week and do that for healthy habits and all of those things. So that's how I primarily work with people.
Absolutely. That sounds great. But you mentioned that, when you were younger, you weren't really a runner, and now you're a running coach. So how walk us through that journey of, like cuz I can there are lots of people who can find themselves in you.
Yes.
One right
Yes.
here. Because I'm not a runner. I know I need to do it. I know I need to practice what I preach, just like you were talking about as a physician. So yeah, if you can walk us through that.
Yeah, I think I'll give you some practical things that I did along the way and then what got me into coaching. So, when I started running around the block, I went like 5 minutes and I tried to do that maybe 3 or 4 times a week and I worked my way up to 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I convinced my husband to sign up for a 5K. The first 5K officially that we ever did was in the summer of 2013. So, I roped him in. We did it. We had a great time at the race, and it was sort of like the gateway drug. It was like, oh, we had such a great time. Let's sign up for another one and another one. And then what I found was very helpful was using it's called the run walk method. If you've ever heard of Jeff Galloway, he was in the Olympics in the late 70s and he was a runner. He popularized this method. Call it run, walk, run, or you don't have to be, you don't have to give it a definition. But basically, what you do is you walk for a set period of time and then jog for a set period of time and then walk. So the intervals are a little bit prescribed, like 30 seconds walk, 30 seconds jog. And you can slowly start to increase the jog interval and decrease the walk interval. And if you want, you can become a continuous runner, or a lot of people use run walk. That's what they do. Like that's their training. And I've used it myself. I've coached a lot of runners using that method. And I think it helps to kind of break things up. You don't get as tired, especially if you are a beginner or you're coming from the couch, if you're new to the sport. I feel like it doesn't, that's okay. But if you're coming from the couch, right, like the worst thing I could do is what I used to do, which is I'm going to run today. I'm going to go out and try to run as far and as fast as I can because I have a half hour and then come back feeling terrible. Everything hurts. I'm red in the face. It didn't feel good. And so I don't want to go back out and do it again. And so using run walk and really slowing down and enjoying the process, that is what kept me going out and wanting to, do different distances and learn more about the sport. And I will say that the marathon changed my life. So I ran my first marathon in 2018. And when I came back from that race, like you can ask friends and family, I became like a running evangelist. Like I can run a marathon. Anybody can run a marathon. You should go sign up tomorrow. It will change your life. Like I just wouldn't stop talking about it. Everybody was like, I do not know what happened, but she came back from this race and wanted to bring everybody along on the ride. And I became a coach after that.
I see. So what did you get from that? What changed for you? What was that light bulb? Yeah.
I think that not everybody actually needs to go and run a marathon to have the light bulb moment. I think that's what it was for me. It was really the time that I spent with myself. So I primarily run by myself. It was self-care time. It was time to really sort out, like I left this part out of the story, but I was a very burned out pediatrician when I got out of residency, but I didn't have that word yet. I don't think we were really talking about burnout very much back then.
You got smacked on the hand for saying anything remotely suggestive of that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, of course, I thought the problem was me, right? Like something is wrong with me. I've gone through all of this training and like following my dream. And here I am. I'm supposed to have arrived somewhere, but to where I was arriving, I really don't know. But it wasn't a very good place that I was in. And so that was going on. And then I also lost my dad to cancer at the time. And so I feel like all of those things, it was just like the perfect storm of events. And I think running is really what helped me to sort through all of that and make some changes in my life, in my work, set some more boundaries. Like I think that is what did it for me. It wasn't the marathon in itself. It was all of the training and the time that I spent with myself and what I learned along the way, how good I felt like getting more sleep and having all the benefits of this aerobic exercise, like all of that put together is what the light bulb went off. But yes, I don't think everybody needs to sign up for a marathon tomorrow.
Thank you. And that just speaks to who you are, Michelle. In the short time that I've known you, you just have such a sweet spirit and you're so sharing and you just want to you're very infectious. And it's a good infectious. And the fact that, you had this transformative, experience with running and that inspired you to become a runner and now you want to share it with someone. It just speaks to you and who you are. I love it. And I love you, Michelle Quirk. So thank you, Dr. Quirk. Thank you for sharing that with us. And I'm sure it'll resonate with some of our listeners as well. So yeah, so for those of us who are moms and we have, kiddos who are involved in various activities, tell us more about what running looks like as an activity for those kiddos and what we should do and not do.
Yeah, I think again, going back to the time issue, that feels like a big obstacle for all of us. Like we just lead very busy lives, at least, in the Western world. And it's hard to create the time to be able to take care of yourself. And that could include any kind of, right, exercise, making time for doctor's appointments, like all of that. So I think starting with making this a priority, that looks different for everyone. I think thinking about your why, like why are you wanting to do it in the first place, and really writing that down, putting it in a place you can see it, that really helps because especially right now, that the time change, like it's getting dark very early, it's cold. Like I also, when I wake up and the alarm goes off, like there are days when I'm like, I don't really want to run. I'm the coach.
Coach Michelle!
Stay in the bed. It's nice and warm. And so it has to be a bigger reason, right, to get you out of bed in the morning. So figuring out your why and then writing your exercise plan, whatever that is, into your calendar the same way you put your work schedule, your doctor's appointments, the kiddo's soccer game, driving your mom to the grocery store, whatever it is that you have on your Google Calendar. Put the exercise in there too. And And it doesn't have to be a huge chunk of time. Like you can start really small. If you're on the couch right now, start with 10 minutes, 3 days a week, something that is achievable so that you say, okay, hey, I did that for a couple of weeks. I can expand from here. You don't have to give yourself, 3 hours a day,
Yeah. And
you
I
know?
think that's the deterrent. If I know okay, I have to do this for an hour, like I'm not, I'm just gonna ignore that buzzing on my phone, that reminder.
Yep.
But yeah, so okay. So know your why,
Hmm.
schedule it in. Those
Yes.
are awesome.
And then I think, well, I'll say this goes together, like start low, go slow. So keep the goal very feasible, make it as easy as possible to achieve. So another thing people tell me like, "Oh, well, it's winter. I don't want to run outside. I want to go on the treadmill, but I don't have a treadmill. Like, should I buy a treadmill? Should I buy a gym membership?" Yeah. So, and then you go down this rabbit hole and you're like, it's just too much. I don't want to do it. I try to get people to go outside as much as possible. Like,
Even in the winter.
yes, yes. I mean, when it's snowing and icing, no. But if it's just cold, we can dress for that. We can prepare for that. For me to roll out of bed and just put my sneakers on and go is generally much easier than getting me to get in the car, drive 20 minutes to the gym.
Right.
Like, yes, I will do that. And I do that to swim. Like, I like to swim and I go to a pool, but it takes a little bit more time and a little bit more juggling things around to make it happen. Whereas, yeah, walking and running, you can, fall out of your house or apartment and go.
Sure.
I know. And for cold weather, I have a guide for that. So just check my website
You
later.
do.
Yes, there's
Okay.
a winter running guide. You can just
Okay.
download it.
Okay. Because that's a good thing to have, because exercise I don't like, cold I don't like, and then the two together, I don't know if you're gonna get me out of the house. But thank you that you have a guide. Can you tell us more about it? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Okay. I have two things. If you'd prefer to listen to me talk about it, I have a podcast episode. So look
We'll
up the
take
Mindful
that.
Marathon podcast, and there's a cold weather running episode. And then if you go on my website, it's mindful-marathon.com and go to the blog. It's probably the first entry in the blog. It's like the winter running guide. And you can see
Okay.
like what to wear by temperature, like how
Okay.
to layer yourself. It
Sure.
makes a good holiday gift list for your
Sure.
family to get some new gear, some gloves, and
Yes, Michelle. Yes. So for those who are still on the fence, can you tell us the benefits of running? Why should I do this?
yeah. I mean, okay, let me give you what the science says and then I will give you what the athletes say. Okay, so right. So I feel like if you look in the textbook, right, we know that aerobic exercise is good for us and it has all of these different benefits on all different organ systems. So it's good for our heart and our cardiovascular system.
Right.
It lowers our blood pressure. It lowers our resting heart rate. It decreases our risk of heart attacks and
Yes.
stroke. It helps our brain. It helps our neurological system. Runners have less Alzheimer's, dementia, all of those brain disorders that happen in older age. Let's see, what else? It decreases risk of diabetes, like all of these wonderful health benefits, right? But I know that we know that and we read that in the textbook, but it's a harder sell. It's a harder sell. Let me tell you what I feel, what my runners tell me, right?
Yeah.
They feel like they are more rested, that they have
Mhm.
more energy during the day, that they have better bandwidth for other people and they don't get as angry like with their partners and spouses, with people at work. Like I don't, it releases so many neurotransmitters like
Okay.
dopamine and serotonin. And
Sure.
so they feel happier. We have less rates of depression and anxiety, kinder, nicer people.
I
Yes.
love it.
And so, yeah, so that I feel like when people feel those benefits, right, it's harder to feel like, oh, I have lower blood pressure. That's great. Like, oh, my lipid panel looks good. Like, wonderful. But if you feel better on the day to day, if you're waking up feeling like, wow, okay, like I feel better after that run, my head is clear, like I'm ready to take on this day. I know when I run before I go into the peds office, I am a different person than if I don't run. I really feel that. So yeah, and it doesn't take too long to feel these positive effects. I think probably about 3 weeks of a consistent exercise routine, you will feel different.
I haven't gotten to that point yet. I think it's because I probably start and then stop and then start again. So I'm gonna take you at your word. I'm gonna try to do it for 3 weeks, Michelle. And
3
if
weeks.
I don't feel good, because usually after I exercise, I am pooped. And I
Yes.
have it on my schedule to do it like one of the first things after my prayer and meditation in the morning.
Mhm.
And most mornings I'm like, I can't, and then it's dark outside and all of that. But yeah, I will try the 3 weeks, and I will report back to you.
10 minutes, just 10 minutes. You don't have to, yeah, right? Like you don't have to go and do it for an hour and really exhaust yourself because yeah, then you exhaust yourself. You feel like, hey, now I don't have energy for the rest
Right,
of the day. Then we're like working backwards. So just
right,
a little bit at a time, start low, go slow. We work our
right.
way up, but I think this is good. I will say like it's a good job security because people I started working with in like 2020
Sure.
they have come back over the years, right? So they
Nice.
train for something in particular, they take some time off, they come back in a year or 6 months
Sure,
and want to do something else, and most of the runners that I've worked with from the beginning are still running, and that is like the greatest gift.
sure. Oh my goodness. So, Michelle, tell me something. Running, I know like cardio, does it help with belly fat? Like that stubborn perimenopausal.
Yes, yes, but you have to do multiple things for that. Yes, strength
Okay.
training will help you too. Yes.
Strength training. Okay.
It's
Okay.
partly exercise and partly nutrition, and with the exercise, you want a mixture of the aerobic and the strength training, and then with your nutrition, right, cutting out, like, those simple
Sure.
sugars and processed, like, carbohydrates, like, that will help. So that one is multifactorial. I can't say that running is gonna be the silver bullet. I don't think
I
there is
thought it
one.
would be. And then you would have me sold. You would have had me sold. I'm half kidding. So tell us more. I heard, I think it was when we were at the Vision Retreat that you did, was it an Ironman?
Yes, a half Ironman, okay?
Ironman.
Half
Yes.
Ironman, yes, yes.
Yes.
This is so a half Ironman is a triathlon, okay? So
Yes.
triathlon is swim, bike, run. Okay,
Yes.
so if you have okay, first of all, if you like one of those sports, I will
Yes.
just put this out there that you can do a lot of triathlons as a relay. And so if you've never done it before and you're like, "Oh, I don't know if I want to do all three," if you
Right.
can gather some family and friends who like the different sports, you can do it as a
Right.
relay and each of you can do like a different leg of it, and that can be like a fun way to experience it. They're really really fun. Each of the sports are really they're very very different, and I feel like they work, different parts of the body. So yeah, it can be like a very fun challenge, and I've learned that I enjoy swimming, and it's not
Yes.
something that I would have thought. I was not a swimmer either, I just
Sure. Sure.
decided to try that, and here we are. But yes, this summer, my husband and I, he did the whole it's 70.3 miles. Okay, so
Woo!
you swim for 1.2 miles in a lake, then you bike ride for 56 miles, and then you run a half marathon at the end. Okay. So he did the whole thing and I did the relay. I swam and ran and my friend Alex was my cycling leg. And that was
Okay.
good. That was
Yeah.
good. Like the all three is quite a lot. It's a lot of training, it's a lot of time. So definitely, you want to think about that before you sign up for half Ironman. Maybe do a sprint triathlon. That's a short one. At most, again, with a sprint triathlon, I think most people can do that with a minimal amount of training. Like you want to be prepared for it and not just show up. But yes, the half Ironman and the Ironman is a whole other ball game.
That's boss level, which is what you are.
If anyone is curious about that, there's a podcast episode about that. It
On
was
that
it was quite an adventure. Yes.
Yes. So, Michelle, I have a daughter who is a great sprinter. Can you talk to the moms out there about like putting their kids in track and, how intense we should be or, with training?
Yes, yes. I I love family fitness and I love talking about this and it's something I talk about right with my patients in the office a lot. I would say that if it is led by your child. So if the child wants to be right explore track or cross country, great. Like go with that. I'm a low pressure type person, like sort of like let them figure it out, because we have a lot of pressure on us and they have a lot of pressure on them from just so many things. And so, it depends on a child's personality, I think, how far they take that. But if it's led by them and they're curious about it, I would absolutely support it. Now, for my kids, I would say this is more common for kids who don't do a lot of activity, or I ask them what they like to do to move their body and they say nothing.
They sound like
They're like, I don't know, and so I would encourage you to do a couple things. One is if you are an active person and you like to walk and or run, try to get the family involved in what you already do. Or even if you're a cyclist, right? If you go to the gym quite frequently, like bring the kids along with you, model the good behavior, just get them curious about it. Like you don't have to sign them up for anything in particular, but just have them come along and have them find something that they like to do. And then I have some athletes who get their families. Well, I do this too. I get my family to sign up for races with me. So I talked a bunch of people into doing the turkey trot for Thanksgiving next week. So
oh
turkey
yeah.
trot, like a lot of places do a 5K for
Oh,
Thanksgiving. You can walk or run, but we've got my husband, my mother, my sister, and my niece, I think.
nice. Is it an actual Thanksgiving day or is it? Oh wow.
Yeah, it's on Thanksgiving morning, but if you're interested in this, you can always look. I'll give you this website,
Yeah.
not just for turkey trot, but for any kind of race and triathlons. It's called runningintheusa.com. And you
Okay.
go in there, type in your zip code, and you could type in what kind of race you're looking for, what time of year, and it'll give you a list of all the local races that are going on.
Nice.
But I have a lot of athletes who, do these races with their family. I have one athlete who loves local races and she will sign up her two boys. Sometimes the dog runs with them as well. So, like having it as part of family fitness is really
Sure.
great. And then the third thing for kids, so here in Philly, we have an amazing program. It's called the Students Run Philly Style. And it's a nonprofit. A bunch of cities have them. I believe Chicago and LA, I think, has a students run as well. And what they do, they take middle school and high school students and they pair the students with running mentors and they train for the longer distance races. So they
Okay.
do like the Philly half marathon and the Philly full marathon, the Broad Street run, which is like a 10-mile race. And these are kids who are not on like the track team or the cross country team. They're just interested in fitness and maybe have this goal to do a longer race. And so if a kid gives me a little bit or I'm like, "Well, what do you think about running?" And if they're not immediately like, "Oh, no, I would never do that." I said, "Well, think about this program because it's free to the children to do it and it just provides a great amount of like structure and it's all about fun and personal growth and it's not really competitive, if that makes sense."
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right. And yeah, we want to limit that a bit. Yeah. Oh my goodness, Dr. Quirk, this was so awesome. I am so impressed and inspired. I will take you up on doing the 3 weeks to see to see if it really starts to feel good after the endorphins start, lingering even after I'm done.
Yeah, something definitely changes in the brain. Our neurology colleagues and maybe the psychiatry colleagues can give us more, but I'm definitely a much happier, calmer person since I've become a regular runner for sure.
So I have a Peloton down in the basement that, just stares at me sometimes. I will definitely what I will commit to, Michelle, and I'm saying this on the podcast, is doing it for 3 weeks. I haven't committed yet to going outside in the cold. But like Dr. Una, but I will go on the treadmill and try to schedule that in, not for the hour that I have it in, but for the 10 minutes.
I like it. That's a
Yeah.
very doable goal. Yes. And tag me, take some pictures and tag me, and I will be cheering you on.
Can't get away with skipping a day. Okay, here we go. Boy,
Everybody saw what I did there, I guess.
this is good. This is good. I love it. I love it. Oh, Michelle, thank you so much for joining us today. If anyone is listening and they want to find you, they really loved what they heard, where can they find you?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Probably the best place is on Instagram. If you're on social media, my profile there is at mindful.marathon. And there's a bunch of things, a lot of resources on the website, which is mindful-marathon.com.
And the podcast?
The podcast is called the Mindful Marathon Podcast, and you can find it anywhere you get podcasts like Apple, iTunes, Spotify. It's on all the major ones. So, and it's also, there's a link on the website. So if you end up in one of those places, you'll find the podcast.
I'll definitely go looking for it now. Guys, you've heard it here with Dr. Michelle Quirk. Let's keep moving. Try to do it every day, not just a few minutes. Know your why. Try to schedule it in, and let's do it. Dr. Cindy will do it with you. But yeah, Dr. Quirk, thanks again for being with us. Guys, we have another awesome episode coming up next week with another amazing doctor. But until then, take care.
Thanks for spending time in the care room today with Dr. Cindy. If you liked what you heard, please subscribe, share this podcast. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram. You can follow me there. Remember, you're not alone in this. There are doctors who do care. The information in this podcast is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, treatment, or diagnosis. Always consult your personalized healthcare provider for medical guidance.